You know, we're in the middle of the state of Wisconsin, ironically on the reservoir, Lake Wisconsin. Yes. And I have good friend Robert Blosser with me. Usually we're competitors. We fish tournaments against one another. He probably likes to think he's a little bit better than I. But this guy has been extremely lucky recently. He just got done, what, 3-4 days ago shooting a mid-170 class buck with his bull.
And that was luck.
But I wanted to see if we could keep that luck streak rolling. Lake Wisconsin, you catch some nice walleyes in the fall here. But he's guaranteed me a lot of Saugers at least too, and I'm not one to pass up Leadcore and walleyes. So come along with us, and we're gonna show you the next bite.
Just looking for the next bite, next bite, next bite. Just looking for the next bite. It's with
Professional anglers Chase Parsons and Robert Blosser sport a laundry list of career achievements when it comes to professional walleye tournament fishing. Both are past tournament champions, and both have a finely tuned knowledge of trolling, especially when it comes to using crankbaits and leadcore.
Fish on!
You got one, dude?
Got one. Got
Nice.
one.
It doesn't matter if it's day 3 of the championship or Saturday on the Lake Wisconsin Reservoir, as the basic design behind trolling sauger or walleyes,
That ain't bad. Look at how healthy that thing is, man.
using a flat line rod spread with leadcore
That's not a bad sauger.
No, it's not at all.
We got a good population of these here, man.
off of sharp brake lines is the same either way. Maybe just a little less pressure when you can go out and have some fun.
Get that, that is a nice sauger. Get that baby back though. We're looking for something bigger.
I'll show you something bigger in a little bit. We got some good ones in here, and they're coming.
Even with a fellow competitor, figuring out a pattern that works.
So today we're out on Lake Wisconsin, and this is actually a reservoir system that's part of the Wisconsin River. And what we're doing today is we're pulling leadcore on the old river channel. So what that was is that was where the actual river was before they put the dams in and flooded the system. So we're targeting our walleyes and saugers right on the break line of the old river channel. And what we're doing is we're actually fishing towards the north end of the lake where the river dumps in before it becomes the lake, because this time of year the fish start to transition and move towards the current and move up the river to their natural spawning areas. But the reason why this old river channel really comes into play is it's just a natural migration route for the fish to take. So what we're doing is basically trying to intercept the fish on their way from the lake to the river.
Chase and Robert may be intercepting the sauger and walleye
Oh, Robert, right here, man.
Nice, dude.
as they transition from Lake Wisconsin into the river channel. But the type of structure that they're targeting
We just kicked the speed up a touch there.
Yep. Got it to commit, huh? Speed up and they hit.
Speed up.
and how they're running their lures is the key to the numbers of fish they're getting on each pass.
Oh, yeah.
Right at the
I'm going to give
bottom
you a little
of the
bit of
break.
room. Give you a little bit of room here.
All the while trying to keep the flat lines running as clean as possible.
I went for the long extension to get that one.
How about you keep your line off my side, dude?
How about,
Look at the mess you got
Look at
going
this.
on. Chase, fish on, man.
there you go. What do you think?
Oh, he's a head shaker. He's a head shaker.
Well, good, because I was getting kind of cold for a second there.
You want to reel this one in?
No, but I'll move this for you. It looks like you're getting a little reckless with that line, and I don't want you to get all tangled up. Where Where's this thing at, Robert?
15 feet.
Oh,
There we go.
You got a little debris on it too. You're so good you can catch a fish and a leaf at the same time.
Little debris. Little debris. Look at the belly on that one, dude.
Yep. You know, trolling Leadcore for walleyes is really a pretty cool way to catch them. We're actually following sharp breaks of the old river channel here and going actually up and down the breaks simply by Robert just adjusting the speeds. As we get a little bit shallower, he can raise the lures. He slows down as we go deeper. He lowers them down, keeping those baits close to the bottom at all times. But there's a few things that you want to do as far as the setup in your boat goes to be successful and to not have a total mess in your boat. We're running 4 flat lines. Now typically with Leadcore, you're usually always going to be running flat lines straight off the boat. Okay, so with the flat lines, what you want to do is position your rod holders in the boat where you have the best spread possible. You can actually see in the back here, we're running 2 rods straight out the side, and these rods are longer rods. These are 10.5-foot walleye angler rods to get a nice wide spread straight out the sides. Out the back, we have them angled up a little bit, tipped straight out the back corners, 8.5-foot rods. You can go a little bit shorter with those. But basically what that's doing is it's allowing us to cover the entire break with one swipe and not get snagged up a ton, not have lures running side by side and getting a lot of messes. Every once in a while, we've still had a few things happen, but the third key, and probably the most important out of all of them, is to make sure that your crankbaits are in tune. You want to put those baits in the water and rip them through hard and make sure that they're running straight, because with 4 flat lines in the boat, if your baits aren't running straight, you're going to have a mess. But you know what, between the setup of your rod holders, making sure those baits run straight, Leadcore on river situations or reservoir situations like this
for sure
is just a fun and an awesome way to catch walleyes.
The next bite is presented by Mercury, Amsoil, the first in synthetics, Tracker Boats, fish the finest, Bass Pro Shops, your adventure starts here, Berkley, catch more fish. Trolling isn't as easy as it sometimes might look, especially when you have experienced tournament anglers like Chase Parsons or Robert Blosser at the helm.
You know, there's a lot of places we go that we catch much bigger fish, but these things are fun.
Oh yeah.
Just watching it on the lead rods, watching these things crush it.
When you can come out and rifle through a bunch of fish in a day, you know, size doesn't always matter.
Yeah.
This is especially true when trolling structure like brake lines.
Boy, that colored flicker's been pretty good, hasn't it?
Yes.
That thing. Look at the paint. You think that thing's caught a few?
But there are a few tricks Chase and Robert use that keep them ahead of the changing depths as they comb different sections of the old Wisconsin River Channel on Lake Wisconsin in search of sauger and walleye.
When trolling a brake line, one thing that'll help you stay where you need to be is by reading the depth off your front electronics. And what that's going to give you is a quicker picture of the depth change, so you're able to make the necessary corrections in the rear of the boat to keep yourself right on that brake line. Fish on, Chase.
Oh, you got one hanging there. Huh?
We got one.
Got a little bit of fight to it.
That's a sauger too.
Yeah. Quick head shakes. Any weight to him?
A little bit.
Little
Not
bit.
bad.
I
A
like
little bit.
I like it.
All right, here he comes.
Yep.
Coming to you.
There we go, man.
Right.
Hey, that's a
Nice.
good one. Look at that
There's
sauger.
a fat one.
I would say.
Jesus.
And he's been eating like you.
Oh, thanks, man. Have a couple pretzels.
Yeah, with how they attack crankbaits, you don't want to put your hand in that thing's mouth.
No, I'm not going in there. Dude, that's a nice sauger.
Yeah, it is.
I would like to eat this one, but I think I'm going to let him go.
Sounds good.
While the initial target species was for walleye, there's been no end to the number of saugers beating them off the break in search of a meal.
Fish on?
You got me on them, dude. I
Fish
can't even get lines out right now. This one feels...
What do you think?
It's all right. It's all right. I'm getting excited.
which is just fine for Chase and Robert, because with 4 rods out, big fish are always nice.
Wants to come up.
But numbers really make trolling fun, so as badly as these Lake Wisconsin Saugers seem to be itching for shad-style
He's
crankbaits,
coming in hot.
they're just lucky no one's looking to make sandwiches. At least for today, anyway.
Oh,
That's a great fish in the pan, though.
absolutely is. Look at that. Beautiful Sauger spots. Flicker Shad, he liked it.
The Real Deal. Real fishing information from real fishing experts. Presented by Amsoil.
Well, wintertime has arrived here, and because it's winter, I'm heading up to northern Minnesota to do some ice fishing. Along the way, I stopped by at the Amsoil National Headquarters, and I'm with product manager Len Groom here. And it's cold. We're going to go ice fishing. This is one of the things that I'll be using on this trip. What is so much better about synthetics in general, and specifically in cold weather situations like we're going to have here?
Well, synthetics in general tend to be a little bit better than the conventional type of products, but in the cold weather there are a few specific things that you're looking for with a synthetic product. Number one, it's easier to pull the cord. The product flows better at cold temperatures, so people understand that it's easier to pull that cord.
Yeah.
But once you pull it and it starts, the motor starts, that oil has to move freely inside there, so you're protecting that engine once it starts running. People don't understand that. Once it starts, they think they're okay. That oil needs to get on the pistons and the internal workings of the motor in order to provide protection. A good chunk of your wear actually comes at cold startup. So it's easier to pull the cord, which everyone can relate to. It starts quicker, and you still get the high-end protection of a synthetic that we're used to with Amsoil.
It really is an awesome product. Everything he said is why I use Amsoil.
You know, there's a lot of different scenarios that you're going to use Leadcore for catching walleyes. And one of the common questions that you hear is about segmenting your Leadcore or actually just using the whole spool. And we're using 18-pound Leadcore. It's actually the pound test that sinks at the fastest rate, but we're using all 10 colors. Now the difference between segmenting it, say maybe with 2 colors and then some mono attached to that, as compared to just using all 10 colors, is you can be way more versatile in your setup and fish 10 colors of lead in a lot different areas and different depths. What I mean by that is we can fish anywhere from 5 to heck down to 50, 60 feet of water with a small, you know, Berkley Flicker Shad like that, any small shad style baits. You can get those real deep with 10 colors of lead. So wherever you're locating the fish, you can just be more versatile if you fill up your whole spool with Leadcore. Now what you want to do is make sure that you have a big line counter though, because 10 colors of lead will fill up a large size line counter. This is an Okuma Stratomaster 30 size, so the bigger size line counters is what you want to look for. But put all 10 colors of lead on those spools, and you're going to be able to fish a variety of different depths and hopefully catch a lot of walleyes.
Dude, fish on one on the turn. Right on the inside turn.
That thing was probably just laying on the bottom.
We came out of 14 to 19 feet, and it's a pretty decent fish too.
Just ripping the Yui to head back. I'm gonna slow us down. We don't need to be rolling at 3.5 when you're just pulling the Yui to go back the opposite way, and I look over it. That thing's just laying there and just pounded. Yeah, man. Oh, there you go. Bait's out. Oh, jeez. Well, I guess you don't have to be moving the bait too much, huh?
Nice, dude. On the inside turn. You think that might be a sign maybe we need to slow down?
Yeah, absolutely. The thing wasn't moving and it just crushed it.
Look at the belly on that thing.
Oh, this thing's got like a football in it. Oh, you know what? Not very long, but this thing's got some weight to it.
These fish here are very healthy and are fed very well. One of the important components to your Leadcore setup is your leader material and the connection directly to the lead core. What we're running today is 10-pound test fire line, and what that's enabling us to do is read our crankbaits better and detect any debris we may have. Now what we've done is we've also used a swivel to make the connection between the fire line and the lead core, and what that's preventing is any line twist from this debris we may pick up in the water. When selecting a swivel to make this connection, make sure you keep in mind the size of the swivel, because you're going to want to pick a swivel that's small enough to flow through the guides of your rod and into your reel smoothly. So when using a swivel to make that connection, not only is it going to help you with your line twist, it's also going to give you one of the strongest connections you can get in this system.
Leading information on tackle and techniques to make you a better fisherman. Presented by Mercury.
So I'm getting a lot of questions lately on the difference between Fireline and Berkley's new Nanofill. They do have a lot of similarities. Both of them are a no-stretch line, so you get a lot of sensation. The other thing is that they're both very thin lines. So especially if you're fishing in current or you're fishing in a lot of wind like we are today, the line just doesn't get moved around as much, so you get better contact with your jig or whatever you're fishing. So again, both very, very sensitive lines. The difference between the two of them is that Nanofill is a very, very slick, smooth line. Much, much slicker than even Fireline. And so the applications I really like to use it for are especially when I'm doing things like this, casting in wind with real light jigs. I just find I can cast it a lot further. It doesn't get blown around in the wind as much. And I keep real good contact with that jig. So casting light jigs is one thing. The other thing I use it a lot for is casting crankbaits, especially the crankbaits that a lot of walleye fishermen use are very, very light crankbaits. They typically don't cast very far, so you need to have a line that casts a long way, and that's really the call-out point of Nanofill, is that you can cast it a long, long way and get longer distance on those casts. So the nice thing about Nanofill is when it first came out about a year ago, it was only in a real white colored line. This year, what they've come out with is two different colors, a kind of a camel line, which is kind of a, kind of makes it hard to see down in the water. And then the other one they've come out with is the bright green line, which is what a lot of us like to use for jig casting, because you can actually see your line and see what's going on out there. So Nanofill, great for those casting applications. Fireline, still a great line anytime you need a real sensitive line with thin diameter.
So far, Chase Parsons and Robert Blosser have broken down every component you'd need to get out on the water and get started flatline trolling lead core in shallow or deeper water for both walleyes.
Oh, there we go. Walleye,
There's a
man.
little Walter.
Yeah.
And Sauger.
Oh, here we go, man.
You got one?
Yep.
Right on.
Pulling shad-style cranks along the breaks of the old river channel of Lake Wisconsin.
Got him. There we go.
Got him. Nice fish, man.
Yeah. Oh, chunky, chunky, chunky.
Some drastic changes in the lighting, however,
These flickers been hot today, dude.
Yeah, they have.
bring a perfect opportunity to cover one last important approach Chase and Robert both use that can make all of the difference in keeping your bite going.
Not the longest thing in the world, but
No.
man, they hit it hard.
Yes.
They fight like crazy. They're a lot of fun to catch. Changing up colors, baby. That's what it's all about. When you have a day like we've had today with weather patterns, 4 or 5 different changes we've had, cloudy, sunny, even a little bit of fog for a second. That's a day that I really want to focus on what color baits we're using. And ironically, I have 3 color baits right here that are totally different. And at different times of the day, they've actually been the absolute hot runners for us. So the baits are all different colors. This bait was actually hot in the morning, this one midday, and now this one just seems to be catching all the fish. So when you're having weather patterns that are changing, even more so than usual, change your bait colors, and it's gonna allow you to catch fish the entire day. Oh, fish on.
You got one?
Yep. Yeah, I just throttled it too. It feels like an okay one, man.
Yeah, gonna be a decent fish.
I think so.
You gonna need a net?
Yeah, I think so. It feels like a decent one. Yeah, he's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
There he is. There he is, yeah. Yeah, he's a decent one. There we go.
All right, man. Nice. Nice.
Yeah, that's a really nice sauger. Oh,
Fatty.
man. Yeah, I would say. Oh, hook was buried in him nicely.
Look at that.
Use the pliers here a little bit. But he sure doesn't want to let it go, does he? Look at that thing. They're so fun to catch.
You sauger master.
They really are. Sauger master. We're going to send you back home, buddy. Oh yeah. Sauger master.
So let's see how easy it is to start. Come on, man. I got the stuff for Christmas. I got the tree.
Did you lose him?
No, I didn't lose him. I don't lose fish.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Amateur.
No, there wasn't a fish on
Amateur.
there. Stick.
Amateur. I've never seen a
Stick.
stick jerk back before,
Stick.
but that was an amateur move right there. If that's not a TV fish, I don't know what it is. Just sits in my head. Gills flared.
Look at him.